So this is just actually a list of the cheapest things that I enjoy in this country, just to give myself a reference point of what money is actually worth.
My office. Over there, some mind mapping, some pictures of stuff. Show you guys how I actually film. Hey guys, George Leeman here. Wanted to make a video talking about the financial freedom side of living on the other side of the planet, living in Southeast Asia. A lot of people seem pretty interested in it. It's one of the main things people requested when messaging me or emailing me. I want to go over the price of what it costs to live here for you guys that are interested in, the possibility of retiring earlier, working for yourself online, or working in terms of creating passive income from abroad, something like that, similar to myself. Apartments, about $150 a month, you'll get an apartment in Southeast Asia, either a studio or a one bedroom. Depending on where you're at, it can be pretty nice. Here it could be pretty nice, depending on where you're at in the country, Siem Reap or something like that in Cambodia. Or in Thailand, you might choose like Chiang Mai or something that's a little bit cheaper, but still nice and still has all the stuff you want. You're gonna end up also spending about $150 on utilities, with about 15 additional going to internet and about 10 going to phone. So that puts you at about $325. A decent gym membership at a nice place is gonna be $50 a month, give or take. $375, and you're probably going to spend about $50 a month, about $1.50 each direction going somewhere every day in a tuk-tuk. So $50 a month, $425. So you've got your transport, your gym, and your housing and phone and internet covered for $425, and you are able to get meals for $1. So I'll actually include a picture of that. It's one of my favorite meals is pork, rice, and egg with soup. I've eaten it for years here. Best value of anything I know of. You can also get an iced coffee with condensed milk for 50 cents, a fried banana for 25 cents, a box of rice for 25 cents, and a grilled chicken leg for like $1.50. So food is pretty cheap. Depending on where you buy, boneless, skinless chicken breast is $3 a kilo, 10 eggs for $1, stuff like that. In terms of massages, which is a cool thing to get in this country because they are so cheap, anywhere from $2.50 an hour to 6 to 8 to whatever you want to pay, 10 or more dollars an hour, with an average of probably like 6 or 7. So really great deal on the massages, but you do kind of get tired of them. You can go to the movies for something like $4, a nice movie theater. If you like to smoke and drink, beer is 50 cents at a bar, typically restaurant, and cigarettes are as cheap as 25 cents a pack. Going to the doctor is very cheap. Going to the pharmacy is very cheap. Most things are over the counter at the pharmacy, so you don't have to get a prescription to get the things you need, depending on what they are. It's a very cheap place to live. You can get a really nice apartment for a few $100s, depending on where you're at. And I put up that picture already of a $150 apartment. You can see that's better than a lot of people are living in America paying $1,000 or $1,100 a month, or maybe more, depending on where they're at in the country. You can get a hotel for like $10. You can go to a different country on a bus for $15. So even on a very small amount of money, you can still afford to travel. You can also stay in like group dorms and stuff for like $2 if you don't mind sleeping around other people as a means of getting around. You can travel, eat for $3 a day, stay at a dorm for $2, and take $15 buses. I guess you could, kind of hop and skip around some of these countries for $300 a month or something like that. I mean, if you were going to eat very little, and there's a lot of gyms that charge $1 per entry, but they're not very good. They're not air conditioned. They're not very nice equipment, but you could exercise, you could eat 4 times a day, you could stay at one of these dorms, and every now and then you could grab a bus somewhere. I don't recommend it, but it might be a cool experience. I know it is for a lot of people. So basically, that's what it costs to live here, and that's what I recommend people look into when planning for their financial freedom per se. You don't need very much money. You need $700 or $800 or $900 or something like that, and you could live a lifestyle like this. And depending on how you set it up, obviously that income could be growing over time, like stocks growing while paying you dividends, or real estate going up in value, increasing in rent, stuff like that. It does not take a lot of money to do it. I used to buy $50,000 houses that rented for $800 that gave me like $425 after all my expenses and all my taxes, assuming I had no mortgage, which for $50,000 I wouldn't. And if you have two of those, if you could invest $100,000 that way, you would have had what you needed to live this lifestyle and not have to work and be retired and get to do what you want with your day, as well as travel around and stuff. But better than that is to take that same $100,000 and use it to buy a duplex to move into on an FHA loan with 3.5% down, $100,000 duplex, $700 rent aside. You move into one side for a year with a friend and pay rent. He pays rent, your friend pays rent, you pay the mortgage, and rent out the other side. If you did that 3 years in a row, you would have 6 rental properties, assuming that they rented for enough and they were the right property, like I just kind of mentioned. You would either immediately or very quickly never have to work again. And that would take $20,000, give or take, theoretically invested over 3 years. And you could theoretically never, now this is everything lining up. This is rent going up, this is getting the right deals, this is the places not needing work, finding the right properties, et cetera, et cetera. But you can see how you could quickly never have to do anything again, because rents would continue going up in theory, and the mortgage would pay itself off in theory, and the place would go up in value in theory. And at a certain period of time in the future, you could come in and actually borrow more against it to use as a down payment on another place, or refinance all 3 properties, pull out $50,000 and buy another house in cash with that $50,000. So there's a lot of ways of going about it. But basically, you don't need as much money as you think. You can be much happier on a very small amount of money depending on where you live. What seems to be mostly important is not having to worry about your future and stress and what are you going to do kind of thing, and knowing that you're going to continue to make more money over time and you can use your time the way you want. Those are really, really important things, and you don't need very much money to do it. To live life on your own terms is where you get most of the value in money is those initial things, and they're had very, very quickly. They're had at a very small amount of money per month, and after that it just becomes more of a game as opposed to a necessary life improvement kind of thing. It doesn't improve your life very much. Like me, I spend very little money and I keep making more money. It doesn't improve my life very much, other than I enjoy the process. I enjoy doing this, kind of like training. Anyways, guys, as always, hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Check out musclemasochist.com for approved products, apparel, coaching, and stuff like that. And stay tuned for more videos like this, where I talk about my life, what it costs to do what I'm doing, how you can do similar fitness, stuff like that. Thanks, guys.